Oh, what a day. I mean, all these videos that are coming out, you almost can't believe them.
Right.
We talked about this off the top here on the zone. Scottie Scheffler, the world's #1 golfer, arrested just before round 2 of a major, the PGA Championship that's happening in Kentucky. Now, Scheffler arrested and booked by the Louisville Metro Police. He now faces a number of charges. Sports agent and public relations advisor Doug Eldridge joining us now on the DMV zone. Doug, you know, you watched this video. We've got the video. We're about to play it here. And it's hard to imagine what happened. We know some of the details now. As an agent, kind of walk us through what's happening right now.
Right. So you had, I mean, I was laughing as I was reading through this. This was literally a fact pattern from first or second year law school. You have the #1 player in the world, and it's rainy, and it's dark, and there's a police officer in clearly marked clothing. There's a player in a clearly marked vehicle. There was a pedestrian-related fatality just hours before. There was miscommunication on the guidance. There was, no, do you know who I am from Scheffler? I mean, it's a series of mitigating circumstances from each side. But suffice it to say, it was a public relations thunderstorm, just like that footage indicates there on the B-reel. This was a nightmare, not for Scheffler. I think he's going to come out dry and clean, if you will, but certainly for the PGA and definitely for the Louisville PD. And I'm a pro-police guy, but the public affairs officer in this really dropped the ball in terms of keeping a clean line of communication so that misinformation and disinformation didn't lead the storyline.
Yeah, there was that whole line, Doug, where some people were saying, okay, is this a matter of backing the police and following what they do and complying here, or was it a matter of fame trumping all? But in this case, it certainly didn't seem like that. Scheffler did what he was supposed to do. It seemed like he eventually complied there, but there were a lot of people who weren't on the same page when it comes to the Metro Police side.
Right, and look, in the age of social media, Jim, you hit the nail on the head. There's always going to be two sides and very little crossover of the Venn diagram in terms of agreement, and that's ultimately what's going to happen. Not just in court here next week, but in the days leading up to it, because this is something that thankfully can be squashed in terms of the details and ironing out the miscommunication. Guys, you got to remember, the last time the #1 player in the world was involved in a car-related incident was 14 and a half years ago, and it was Tiger Woods. It was also the first time I joined Fox 5 for television. Now, even though that was 14 and a half years ago, it was a light years distance in terms of the fact pattern. This isn't just the #1 player. That has nothing to do off the course. This is a buttoned up, buttoned down, family-oriented, no drama, no dilemma guy. There is absolutely miscommunication at the heart of this, and I'm not putting my thumb on the scale either for Scheffler or for the police, but I do think the missing link through the thread throughout all of this was a lack of cohesive communication, because anytime you create a vacuum, misinformation will fill it, and that's what we've been chasing on social media for the last 12 hours plus.
I mean, I think to your point, people saw this on social media and they're like, wait a second, is this a joke? To see him in an orange jumpsuit in that mugshot, when if you look back on prior mugshots coming from that same police department, there's not a lot of guys who change into a jumpsuit to get the #1. Not that it matters who he is, but to your point, it seems as though he followed all commands, albeit the police report did say that he did not stop when he was told to stop while he was driving. But again, if you look at all the facts together, this may have been largely bungled here by police. Doug, as an agent here, I mean, we saw his agent driving him back to Valhalla just 40 minutes after he was released from jail. He was out on the driving range. He was out on the course. He's about to finish his second round there. What do you tell him? How do you get him back in the game and say, we got to forget about this, let the lawyers handle this, and let's get you back on the course. Let's get you to win this?
Well, exactly what his agent did, and that is get him away from the court, away from the cameras, get him back to his happy place. Now, in Scheffler's case, his happy place is clearly with his wife and newborn. But outside of that, it's on the golf course, it's on the driving range, it's on the putting range. The putting green is getting him back in the zone. And as an agent, one of the things that I keep scratching my head about is this is a #1 golfer in the world, currently a multiple $100 million property, eventually, as trend line goes, $1 billion property. He was in a clearly marked tour, not just tour, but player vehicle. My question is, why did you not, as the agent, why did you not have a chauffeur driving him? And just, guys, for background context that not a lot of viewers know, oftentimes the chauffeurs at these high-profile events, they're not just drivers for hire. They're off-duty police officers who understand basic driving, evasive action, understand protection detail, and understand how to keep a cool, calm head in this type of incident. The fact that Scheffler was driving himself, which is isn't indicative of good, bad, or otherwise.
No.
Those are the little details that can become big, complicating factors when left to chance.
Well,
so I think everybody wished they had a pencil with an eraser here.
No, and to your point, when Tiger Woods had that last car wreck where he nearly severed his leg out in California, he too was driving to a golf tournament. A lot of times these are sponsor cars. They want the players to be seen driving these cars. We see it at Augusta at the Masters, so it's not that out of the ordinary to see themselves driving themselves. Just for context here, Scottie Scheffler right now tied for second on the 16th hole, so he's doing just fine. It seems like he's going to make out of this, and hopefully we hope that the charges are dropped. We know the PGA did intervene. They moved his tee time, and that will not affect his score. So it seems like all things are working in his favor right now.
Doug, real quick, does this affect the PGA's relationship with Valhalla or Kentucky for that matter?
No, this is an opportunity for everyone to come together across the table, gather their hands, admit the appropriate mea culpas, and move forward. This is a huge public relations opportunity for all parties involved to really pay it forward in a positive message from the athlete to the league to the police department. Nobody's the bad guy here.
Yeah.
Everybody had slip-ups, but it's easily correctable. And to your point, I would have, at that first tee, I would have driven it into the front row of fans crowding the tee box. The fact that this guy's playing the way he is a testament to the reason he's the #1 player in the world.
Without question, Doug Eldridge with us tonight. Wow, what a story. And let's not forget that this all was caused because there was a pedestrian who was struck and killed on a rainy day ahead of the tournament in the overnight hours and caused that backup, and everything else subsequently occurred here. We'll be following the story because it's clearly a national headline as we speak. Doug, good to have you with us.